There's a growing consensus in our day that the way to find yourself is to look inward, but there are good reasons to think again. Not least of these is the incoherence of the strategy of expressive individualism in general terms and the way it's playing out for individuals and society. Modern identity formation is riddled with embarrassing ironies, yawning gulfs opening up between what is asserted or appears to be the case and an unfortunate reality. In many ways, expressive individualism is leading to outcomes that are the opposite of what we expect. We're told to look inward to find ourselves, but inevitably we still look to the approval of others to shore up our sense of self. We use social media to define ourselves, but the same tools leave us more exposed than ever to how others perceive us. We pursue our desires with a passion, but even when we get what we want, we're left feeling discontent and dissatisfied. We seek to rid the world of prejudice and discrimination, but to bring about that, we invent new forms of prejudice and discrimination. We regard religion as the imposition of an oppressive external authority, only to find ourselves looking up to things unworthy of our devotion that enslave and dehumanize us. We seek to live our unique stories only to find ourselves plugging into big shared stories. Worst of all, we place the highest premium on finding ourselves only to find it harder than ever to do so. But there's one irony in connection with the subject of identity formation that dates back 2,000 years. It's this: Jesus' insistence that those who find themselves will lose themselves, and those who lose themselves will find themselves. More accurately, it's a paradox asserting something that's true, even though on first glance it seems contradictory. A paradox is a kind of profound irony. It's one of Jesus' favourite sayings. It turns up in all four Gospels. Matthew 10:39 puts it this way: "Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it." To find yourself in the first part of Matthew 10:39 is the equivalent of pursuing a self-made self. It's to find your own way, to seek your own personal happiness above all else, to focus on pursuing your life dreams, to follow relentlessly your own path with little thought to those around you who might in fact get in your way. Now, Jesus is not condemning ambition or achievement in and of itself. Rather, finding yourself in the first half of Jesus' saying is about focused self-creation, which is the very essence of expressive individualism. According to Jesus, in the ultimate tragic irony, seeking to establish your own identity results in losing your identity. But also, according to Jesus, in order to find yourself, your true and lasting identity, you need to relinquish the quest for self-assertion and look in another direction. Jesus opposes the notion that to know yourself, you need to find yourself. The paradox of personal identity is that those who gaze inwardly to find themselves will lose their identities, and those who look elsewhere to the interests of others will find their true identity. But Jesus doesn't just warn those looking for themselves that their search will fail. Moving to the positive alternative to seeking to find your life and thereby losing it, the motivation he supplies for losing your life, not seeking to establish yourself, is that it is done for my sake, he says. C.S. Lewis puts it this way: "Give yourself up and you will find your real self. Lose your life and you will save it. Look for yourself and you will find in the long run only hatred, loneliness, despair, rage, ruin, and decay. But look for Christ and you will find him, and with everything else thrown in."